There it is, there it is, there it is. Oh, hey, Instagram, it's me, T from the Pattersons, taking the train to Tibet. This is a Tuesday for the, as you know, well, Tuesday it's a U.S. day. Like Wednesday is a World Day, Thursday is a Audio Drama Day, the best. Friday is end of the week, whatever, wrap up, whatever. I haven't got something. Anyway, Saturday is whatever comes to my head day. Sunday we read from Tagore because we're in India. We riff off the reading. Monday is a me day. It was an interesting me day yesterday, actually. And then, of course, we have this day, which is U.S. Day, for the politics. You know, U.S. as in United States of North America related kind of things. That's what we do. That's what we do on Tuesdays, which is what it is now. Anyway, here's the thing. Okay, look. Remember, I kept on saying, look, Trump is smarter than you are, meaning you, not me. But you know, there's a lot of yous out there. So it don't sound right to you because you're thinking that you're not the you that I'm talking about. But the yous that I'm talking about are not listening anyway. The point is this. I don't want to have to revise my thing, but let me say it. How do I say it this way? Okay, when Trump first got elected, back there in 2016, when he beat up on Hillary, right? I said, as I read these things, I pay attention to certain things. You could say Trump got elected, but what he did was he basically did the desires of what they call middle America, the flyover states. Well, how did he get this? Now remember, he's an elitist. He's a billionaire. Well, he wasn't spending a whole lot of time in the middle of the country. So how do you know about the flyover states and what they were thinking, whatever have you? Well, radio. Hey, I'm a radio man. I got to come back to radio, right? We're talking. I should put on my glass so I look intellectual with this, man. But this is. I gotta look different. Wait, this my. Hold on. I gotta look different. I have to have a different look for this one. I have to have a different look for this one. I have to walk into. My wisdom is falling down. Maybe not. Maybe my wisdom is. Maybe I'm losing wisdom here. Here's what had happened. If you notice what he said all that time, all he did was he said everything that we got a whole campaign, whatever, or not Steve Bannon, not whatever else people around, a guy named Michael Savage. He's radio, one of those shock jocks in the tradition of Rush Limbaugh and the Beck guy, right? Michael Savage. If you listen to what Michael Savage, when he was talking to all those, was taking calls and talking to all those middle flyover states, those, not the East Coast, not the West Coast, not the whatever, not the elite or whatever have you. And everything that Michael Savage was advocating, Trump just parroted. And that's how he got elected that first time. Okay? This is sort of important. You don't have to believe me, you can check the records yourself. Now, when he lost to Biden, that's because, well, he didn't have good advice around him. Plus the COVID hit, and he didn't know what. I don't know what. I guess his rich. I don't know what's going on with that. You know, because he could have easily done that if he did COVID right. Plus, he didn't like the kind of Chinese anyway, so I don't know. You know, hey, who's this? Andrew Johnson joined it. Hey, Andrew. So hold on to that, right? Now, what just happened, when he just beat up on, he beat up on all those, when he beat up on all those women, see, this guy, you know, he beat up on those women, some of the women, whatever. Come on. Kamala Harris slept her way up into the set. Come on now. Kamala Harris, open leg Harris, you know? Oh, please. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. I just went off code. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not apologizing to Kamala Harris. I'm apologizing because I'm a devotee of Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., and we're not supposed to call people out of their names. We're not supposed to label, we're not supposed to call people like that. You know what I mean? So I deeply apologize. I promise I will do better. Just embarrassing. Now this time around, he had 4 years to marinate, think what he did wrong, but he was not thinking. He was too busy playing golf, and again, calling people names, and labeling people. Once you label somebody, it's hard to retract your labeling. It's just difficult, right? Anyway, so now he gets a new crew around him, right? He's through with the Bannons and whatever, and he gets the rich people around him because he plays golf, which means he hangs out with rich people all the time. That's all he does, hangs out with rich people. Even when you took celebrities in a certain form are like rich in celebrity. That's what I mean by rich people. Not rich in character, not rich in doing things, rich in, make the money, whatever. The Musk is supported by U.S. government. Right? He will even tell you that there's things written on it. He's about to go under, and the U.S. government gave him this contract. But a lot of people wonder with the Howard Hughes, all the people, the early people, because he got a government contract to deliver mail. All these people that get rich, whatever, usually it's by some kind of other form. Okay, they do some shenanigans too, right? But that's the way it is. Okay, so now he's surrounded by so-called brilliant brains. But the problem is, the people are from the same strata, the same. I know you get the class that upper. Forget the no, not forget. I'm gonna say strata. I don't want to say class because then you say, "Oh, you're a Marxist." You're a Marxist analysis. No. The same strata, right? Now, here's the problem: when you got people from the same strata, then they have to protect their strata. They have to protect where they're coming from. Well, most of the people from this strata don't like black people. They grew up not liking black people. If you're an American from way back, or if you just came to the country, the first thing you learn we got to dump on black people. Even if he wasn't in the country. Listen, can I just deal with film? It's called Tropes. Let me deal with film just for a second. When you first saw black people on film, they were servants or whatever. Well, actually, they were servants. They were singing and dancing. So now your great grandfather or your grandfather, whoever, is looking at it and saying, "Oh, see, black people, they're good dancers, good singers." Then you get to the just your own time. Oh, they're great athletes. That's what they do. And then film advances. By the way, the best film in this, well, let me put it this way. There's a thing, I think it's Petrified Forest with Humphrey Bogart. There's this Humphrey Bogart's gang. They have a driver, black. The black people also drivers and cooks and stuff like that. The driver is black, right? And they get into this place where some rich people were in a storm, whatever. Rich people are sequestered in this place. And of course, the rich people have a butler, right? There's this one scene, and if I was still on the radio, I would get this clip, right? The black driver for the gang is tying up the butler onto a chair, right? And the butler says something like, "Well, I'm a ad lib. That's not what he says. He said, "Oh, brother, blah blah blah," and then I'm sorry, the driver says, "Ain't you heard of the revolution, brother?" Something like that. It was hilarious. I love that little thing. Anyway, back to the point. So you see me in all these subservient roles, and of course the most famous one is the first Academy Award, which to a black person, supporting actress, Hattie McDaniel, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Then you go on, right? In the 60s, what happened, then the black person would say, die in the first. One time they didn't really do that is in The Dirty Dozen. Well, Jim Brown dies much later, but he dies. Black person always dies. Yes, Spartacus. The black person gives up the noble thing, gives up he beats the white person, but Toma Cook does listen. Woody Strode, but then he goes and the whole thing. So the black person is a sacrificial guy, the noble whoever, right? Then shortly after that, then you have this whole thing. Then because when black people then say, "Hey, wait a second," they got some Gordon Parks and a bunch of other people, including, by the way, Robert Downey Sr. I'm sorry, Robert Downey Sr. does not give a piece of blessing on the Trump. He's one of the first blaxploitation films. We're talking about Putney Swope. And let me put in my thing again, right? Samuel L. Jackson, please, don't you know Robert Downey Jr.? Can't you all just do a really low budget? You don't remake Putney Swope. Because remember, Putney's leaving. Do a sequel to Putney Swope, but with the same kind of things. Actually, do two. Do a remake of Putney Swope, little maybe whatever, and then continue on where you continue on. Please, Samuel L. Jackson, this is your role. This is a role of a lifetime. Forget that Stephen thing, and I really liked you in that Long Kiss Goodbye, whatever that was. That was really a good one. And those Negotiator really liked that one too. Anyway, the point is, Samuel L. Jackson, man, you did a defining role with Kendrick. That was so good. Uncle Sam, please, Putney Swope, it's your, please. Anyway, back to the point. Which was funny because Samuel did that day, and you say he's a star, so he ain't gonna die, right? And that shark came and snatched him. Everybody was shocked. But LL Cool J lived, so there's a little turning point, little twist in the thing. Anyway, back to the point. But then there was a point where you would have a black person, and to prove that the hero, the anti-hero, whoever was the real deal, was bad behind, badass, right? He would beat up. Like the perfect example is that who just died too? Who's that guy? I don't like the Eraserhead guy. You know, Lynch. He did this movie, which is a great movie. Oh God, now I forgot the name of the movie. With Nicolas Cage. You know. Anyways, the proof Nicolas Cage, the first reel, he's coming out of a court or something like that, and he takes a big black guy and beats him up for no particular reason. I don't know. You know, what's it called? The Velvet Curtain, whatever the movie was called. And then he had this whole thing where the anti-hero or the white guy had to beat up on the black guy to show that he was superior, right? Like that. Then you have all that. So this goes on and goes on. Then now you have this trope. Now we got this trope. People got all kind of. Now you got this trope where you have a weak. I guess they don't use that term. Moist, whatever. It started on the internet really with the guy. You know, how'd your kids? How you think? He's so hilarious, right? In other words, a feminine black person. For the jokes, you know what I mean? Because even when gay people first go on anything, they get them accepted, they would have brought up jokes, right? And you can even, it doesn't matter. But anyway, so now you got a lot of things with black people with the jokes. Don't get me wrong, you had Speed where the guy was cool, you know what I mean? And then, but that same guy they used again, but was that the same guy that did in the flood movie, but you always use a black guy to make a point. Sometimes, most of the time it's bad, it's good, right? Like that. Oh, I hate Prometheus. Oh, I hated that. I hated that movie. Oh, Ridley Scott. I'm sorry, I hated that. I hated that movie because, well, then again, Idris Elba. He does a noble black thing, and he could have got away with the guy, but no, they're gonna go and gonna save the world or save the whatever, and he's the captain of this thing. He's gonna ram into. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is now I just saw this thing, hilarious. Well, it's not hilarious. It's pitiful. Right? And then of course, the whole thing about putting black people in dresses. We don't get into that right now. But there's this guy that has these ridiculously long, colored extension nails, right? And he's talking, doing the moist talk, and he's cleaning his clan, and it's just ridiculous. So what happens is they use black people now to ridicule, whatever. But that's always been the case throughout the history. It doesn't matter. Well, now since you're used to all that, what happens now? The president of the United States of North America says we got to slash some we got to do some, we got to slash some programs, whatever have you. We're going to take some money away from this. We're going to take money away from the African American Museum. It's one of the Smithsonian. Actually, it's the museum. You know that big brown building in Washington D.C.? I've been there one time. Yeah, I was there. It's like there's other better museums. It's a museum for Americans, right? All you Americans. I'm sorry. It's for Middle America. You know, all black people did this, got the Emmett Till thing, which you can't get there, but the whole thing, you know what I mean? And full disclosure, I can't dump on it too bad because I go in there, and one of my radio children is featured in there. Big old thing. I said, what the hell? Or the thing about being American, being inclusive and whatever have you. Anyway, don't worry, I'm not going to tell you who it is. He just said he's one of my radio children. He's there in the museum, right? I mean, featured. Anyway, so here's the thing. And remember first thing, I don't like the building because they got, whoever made the statue of Martin Luther King, right? He's out there in front, right? He's got his arms folded, Martin Luther King was supposed to be welcoming. He's not, when you do like this, you're against something, you know? So I don't, the sculpture I don't even like the way the sculpture, forget all that stuff. So, the Donald wants to, again, like all these people, the descendants of immigrants that come through to make your bona fides. I say bona fides, that's black talk. Your bona fides, bona fides sounds better. Bona fides in America, the first thing you learn is you got to dump on black people. Why? Because you learn from TV. In your country, you might have seen, you know, Good Times when JJ was the big thing. So you come from Korea, wherever. Oh, I'm sorry, I said Korea. Any Asian country, and then you come and you say, yeah, how we get ahead. They even have programs, you know, that you can take your business to the ghetto, we'll fund you and stuff like that. And you feed the darkies, and you know. The point is, it's always the black person they dump on, and now I think they did, and now you're gonna take away a placid, whatever history of Black America. Hey. So I'm trying to say that Donald, I don't know, because there's going to be all these Negroes or whatever it is, whoever they are, they're going to be protesting. This is like the last straw, like that. But why am I telling you all this? Well, those people get wrapped up in that. We got other things to do. Here's my thing. Again, I'll say this again. Reparations. That's it. They don't want to give reparations. Reparations. Don't ask for it. You're demanding it. Reparations. No matter who it is, you say reparations. That's the number one agenda. We have there's a conference put on by the Caribbean and African Union in September on reparations. Be there, save up your little things. Look, stop drinking for 5 months. You know what I mean? Stop contributing to these churches for 5 months. Whatever. Get your little ducats together so you can be in Ethiopia for this conference of reparations. Show up in droves. I'm gonna be there. So meet me there. Now, the reason I say that is because, look, black folk, American Africans, as I said, we gotta have a strategy and tactics, right? Yeah, I'm not saying you don't deal with America. You still deal with America, but you have to have an exit strategy too. You can always, I'm into reparations, so my passport's right there. I'm not giving up my American passport. It gets me around the world, and I got a claim. I got people going, my great grandmother is Mohawk, my great grandfather was Gullah Geechee. I got blood. I got things in this country. I ain't giving up my citizenship, and they're not forcing me out. Yeah, they can't deport me. What are they going to deport me to? They don't know where I came from. Anyway, but now, part of this whole reparations thing, I'm put this. I don't really. Well, I do mean it this way. The Africans, they say, well, the Africans, so I'll forget all that stuff. But the thing, now the African Union, I advocate for a continent-wide free visa for all the black people in the diaspora. Now, this means that you can take that reparations and invest in some sort of stuff on the continent, as well as still have your stuff back at home. This gives you an exit strategy, so you can be da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, remember, not everybody, like Marcus Garvey, before you want to be Pan-Africanist or whatever you think you all are, Marx said, not everybody can go back to Africa. A lot of people go to Africa and they want to be the colonizers. The colonizers told these, did what the colonizers did when the colonizer was there. Wrong move, right? We'll get into that some other time. But what you do is now you can support this little program there, this person there, there's even here, I don't want to get into that, that's a whole other thing. But so now you sort of scope out what's happening in Africa, what you can support, whatever. A lot of this time when these African leaders are saying, we want the diaspora people to come back, they just want you to, you notice when you travel with that passport, you're just a dollar sign. No matter what they think of you as money, right? I'm just letting you know this. I travel extensively. I'm telling you, right? But the point is, that all these countries that want you, they really want you to come and visit and put your money down and da 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 da. Even when you get there, the Africans, they're saying like, oh, these people got money, so everybody's trying to scam you. I won't get into that right now either. My point really is, the Donald has stepped into it. And the Muskie's gone. The Muskie's gone, but that's kind of dumb. You should look at what he was doing rather than that he's the Muskie. You know, forget that. But the point is, I guess the point is what I'm trying to say is like, this is great because now you got look. I'm with a group of people. I've always been with a group of people. And there's look at it as I'm always with the tip of the spear. My whole life, my whole activist life from 1964, always the tip of the spear, doing unusual things. I should get into this on Monday, something else. I'll do this on Monday when it goes back to a me day. But it's very interesting because what I'm trying to say is that we don't, the people who I hang out with, the people we don't think the same way. Okay, we're not like those other fighters, right? We're a whole other class of warriors, okay? So we'll talk about that on another day because I know I'm going to talk too long right now, and I don't want to, I just don't want to. I'll talk to you later. Oh, the boy done stepped in it. Oh, now we're going to see. I'm sorry, I got one more thing. Another thing I like about being a melanated American, everybody's jumping on this Crockett woman with her, the ultimate code switcher, right? See, and they got to send somebody into her district to dethrone her. This is why Omar didn't. There's certain people that can't be dethroned in there. So she has if her district, if the media, if she's doing stuff for her district and she's going to still be Congress, she can do whatever she wants. See, when America first had the Congress, you know, people would be farmers. They would come and they speak farmer talk, you know, code switches farmer talk. Then they go back, you know, they wouldn't make it a career of it. So when she's code switching, and really, because she's ineffectual anyway, but it's entertaining. Hey, because all these people in Congress, they're not doing anything. It's all finding ways to separate you from your money. The classic example is Nancy Pelosi, who was a hostess. She was. Is she still in Congress? I guess she is. She's a hostess, and she used her thing to get on committees and then use that for insider training. All these people do. How come you don't have the same energy? Now, Jasmine, whatever the Crocker woman, all she doing is blah 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 blah, code switching. She black one. Well, she's ghetto black, but she also knows what do you call that? Private school black. So she's melanated, like whatever. But you'll jump on her, but you won't jump on Chuck Schumer, a Zionist. You won't jump on Nancy Pelosi, insider trader. Oh, come on. And then all these spaces, then they're trying to put AOC. Hey, remember AOC used to have Rikers Island in her district. I don't know how they redistricted that, but she no longer, I don't think she represents Rikers Island. And she do anything for Rikers Island? No, she's down there trying to get more immigrants into the country. Plus, let me tell you a secret. Elon Musk with AOC, I'm a dancer. And you gotta know how to dance, right? If you see AOC jumping around, she's spastic. She's spastic. I'm not jumping on her. I am jumping on her. I look at people, if they spastic, they don't know. They're not, they do spastic kind of things. So the Democrat Party, they're done. Stick a fork in them. The Republicans, or the Repubs as I call it, they've done a lot of the issues that the Democrat used to do in 1899. It's a mess, but don't worry about it. The help is on the way. What kind of help? We gonna help. Black people, we always help. We're not trying to save the republic. We're trying to get our reparations so we can save our behinds, and we can be in the states when we want. We can be any place in the world, and we can help Africa and I guess the Caribbean if we want to. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.